Hello YouTube, this is the Sim Basketball Operator bringing you episode 43 of my Nuggets Association, closing up this series. Way back 3.5 months ago, we took home the 2016 NBA title. So after 3 years of controlling this team, we were able to reach that ultimate goal, and this will be a video where I simulate 5 seasons in the future and just see where this team goes. And actually, we're gonna just look over what I'm doing here. I had a top 5 pick for some reason. I guess it was just one of those many trades that I pulled off for draft picks, and I'm taking up Ben Simmons, who's the best player in my opinion in this draft class, and he's a high school senior right now. And then I ended up flipping him and Ty Lawson, because Ty Lawson I felt was like the weak point on my team, and so I ended up flipping them for John Wall. And then a guy that I really liked, Justice Winslow, was taken ahead of what I projected, and so I ended up trading a few picks up to get him. And I also pick up Tyler Zeller, and I think I pulled back JJ Barea in free agency. But more on why I traded Ty Lawson and Ben Simmons, two very talented players, for a superstar like John Wall, is because one, it is John Wall. He's that playmaker, a guy who's going to be a fixture in this league, a top 5 point guard, top 3 point guard for the next 6 seasons from this point. And that was the main reason why I got him. He's a better piece moving forward, and also because we were starting to have a logjam. Guys who wanted more minutes, and they deserved more minutes. I just couldn't give it to them. And Ben Simmons, as you can see, is a talented player, but would have been buried behind the likes of Gallinari and I believe Kenneth Faried on my bench, just because those guys have more experience. So I did simulate, and unfortunately the changes messed up the team chemistry, and so we fell in the second round to the Thunder, who eventually lost to the Cavaliers. So LeBron did give Cleveland his title, but Kyrie won the MVP. And so now we're just going to continue with the simulation, and I give John Wall a huge extension. So as the simulation kind of plays in the background, I'm kind of going to talk about what I have plans for this channel and why I took such a long break. So it has been about 3.5 months. I believe my last video was before 2K15 came out, somewhere at the end of September. And the reason why I took a break was, had a lot of schoolwork that popped up. I'm a senior in high school, so basketball season kicked into gear, and college applications, that whole process. Many of you probably already know it. And also because my channel was declining, partly due to the fact that my commentary style really needs to improve. I need to put a little bit more effort in my videos, and I couldn't quite do that with the schoolwork. And then another reason is because I just don't have the financial resources to get those materials. So one is that I needed to upgrade to the next gen console, and unfortunately my current finances don't allow me to do that. And then another reason, and that kind of, when you type in search boxes, people are going to be looking for my GM series or my league series, and so association wouldn't really pop up there very often. And unlike when I first started YouTube back in 2K13, there's a lot more great franchise series that have been popping up. So you have Lost and Unbound, Nike Faller's been doing a bunch, Agent 00, this guy named Enviries. I'm probably butchering all these pronunciations, but I strongly suggest you go check their series out, because occasionally when I have time to watch, I kind of just pop into what they're doing. And while I believe that their series are not really as realistic as mine are, even though in the simulation things kind of get out of whack, but they're still great, and they're very entertaining commentators, which is something that I feel like my commentary style has lacked. As as I've gone, I haven't really taken that next step, so to speak, right there. I'm gonna go flash into the video right here. Zach LaVine was really unhappy with his role. I actually envisioned him taking over for Ty Lawson, but because of the whole Ben Simmons deal, John Wall took that spot. So Zach LaVine was firmly rooted as the 6th man behind Ross and Wall, and so I ended up dealing him and Gallinari for Evan Warren, who's a guy who doesn't have that high potential, but he's a great scorer, so he can fill that 6th man role. And then Harrison Barnes, who would start for me at small forward and is a younger option than Gallinari. So that's what happened over there, and we actually go to the title again. So I'm not sure where we are, because years kind of just flash back as I'm just powering through these seasons. But we win another title, go to the White House, and Obama's still the president, so he must have assumed some kind of dictatorship or something like that. I don't know, but obviously 2K can't predict who's going to be the next president. But I thought it was kind of funny that Obama was still there. And so we also offer Anderson a contract, but he decides not to take it. And then we're also gonna have to deal with Corey Joseph, another guy who I really liked because he was a great setup man. He was a lot more controlled than Ty Lawson, and he was a lot better at managing the team, but unfortunately he had to go. And then I traded up in the draft to draft this guy named Francis Barrett, mainly because Anderson, I wasn't sure if he was going to sign, he ended up not, and because Fareed was going to be a free agent in the next season, he was unrestricted, so that's why I felt like I needed to get another power forward. And then I signed some more bench warmer scrubs to kind of fill out my rotation. So what I have planned for this channel, I really don't know. I mean, to the few people that are watching this video, I mean, you have a lot of impact on what you want to see. I still only have 2K14. I don't have 2K15 on the current gen because it would have been kind of a waste of money. I'm still working towards trying to get a next gen console, but entering college next year, one of my favorite commentators, straight out of Boston, has been held out of commentating due to the fact that he's in college and can't really, it's not, you kind of want to focus on other things when you get there. But personally, I really love basketball. It's my favorite sport, which is why I don't really do any other series. And because also I'm planning to go to college and look into sports management, become an analytics guy. Hopefully for a team would be a dream goal. Even a general manager would be like the utmost like dream. Like, that'll be a miracle in the long shot, but that's what I'm going to plan to work towards. I'm also interested in sports journalism. I write school newspaper, I've competed, and I've covered a variety of things. So I consider myself a basketball guy by trade, and so if any of you guys want to see a series where I can just pump out being a guy from Seattle, I might consider like just doing a creative team and creating like the Seattle Supersonics, throwing a whole bunch of random guys there and whatnot. So let me guys know what you want in that respect. And now I'm just gonna switch back more towards the series in general. Basically what happened is that I've tried to keep the majority of the core intact. Embiid is still there. I believe earlier I gave him a 5-year max contract extension, or near max extension, but he didn't take that. He took the 4-year max instead, but he was a restricted free agent, so I was able to match him there. But finance is starting to become really tough in this situation because I had a lot of guys in the age range of about 25 to 21 when they started, and so now they're getting older and they've gotten a whole lot better, which is why we've been winning so many titles. But unfortunately, this is a big offseason for us right here. We had a lot of guys going to free agency. Fareed is unrestricted, Harrison Barnes unrestricted, Terrence Ross unrestricted, Justin Winslow's restricted. But Winslow's a loyal guy. He was actually really excited to take a 5-year deal for less money, which was a huge boost for me. Harrison Barnes, I think I was able to retain on a flat contract, and Fareed I was able to front load his contract a whole lot, so I won't be buried when Walls and Embiid's contract kicks up. But unfortunately, Terrence Ross wasn't having anything of that flat contract, and so I was a little bit pissed after that, which is why I ended up simulating another season to see if we can win without him. I mean, he was a key part for our earlier runs, but as you can see, the other 3 guys that I mentioned resigned, and so I ended up moving Winslow to the 2nd, and he's really developed to the shooting guard position. Harrison Barnes still at the 3, Fareed at the 4, Evan Warren, that guy I traded Levine back for in the day. And then Francis Barrett, the guy I drafted, using Corey Joseph to move up in the draft. Those guys are my 6th and 7th men, so we have a really deep team. As you can see, we are still killing it. We haven't quite matched that ridiculous 75-7 or 77-5 season that I had in season 3 of this association, but that's because I'm probably not closely managing as I could. But Embiid pulls home a MVP, Evan Warren pulls home 6th man of the year, and so everything is just falling into place. Brian Shaw, coach of the year, and we go and just power our way through the playoffs, simulate, and just kill, and this has been a true dynasty in the making. This makes it our 4th title in a row, I believe our 5th championship in a 6-year span, and so it's just been a truly amazing ride. I was actually surprised that we won so many titles by simulation, but I guess our team chemistry and just the team dynamic was just too strong for anyone else to compete. Obama is still in the White House somehow. Obviously, the United States is not a democracy anymore, and it was just a testament because we keep seeing him every single year. So it's going to be a more quiet off season for us this time around. I actually find this guy, this point guard, who just falls in the draft, but he ends up being like the best player. And so good job on my scouts that I hired all the way back at the first episode of this series. And then we're extending Evan Warren, who I believe does decide to resign with us, but it doesn't really matter since we pretty much just got a guy to replace him if needed. And so this team, I believe that I have demonstrated like the ways to dominate the association mode. I'm not sure how that changes when you go into the next gen, but I've been playing this mode for so long, I kind of figured it out a little bit. Just make small moves, trade for future draft picks, and manage your contract space effectively, and try to keep everyone happy, because all the years in the association, I believe I'm able to keep everyone's morale above 70 and the team chemistry at 100. And so we're just gonna flash through the awards over what has now been an 8-year span in this association. A lot of guys retiring, and then you have Blake Griffin after he won 6th Man of the Year, Ryan Anderson, who eventually just decided not to resign with us, winning 2 6th Man of the Year awards. And then we had Evan Warren win one last year. So again, depth was a key part of this Nuggets association, and it's just been a really proud moment for me to build such a dynasty. We didn't win any Defensive Player of the Year, but we were top 5 in all defensive categories as a team and as a unit, and we were number 1 in pretty much everything. That first year we won the title, which is why we were so dominant ahead of time. But you also can see the development of a lot of players. Anthony Davis, Nerlens Noel became these monsters. Malik Newman for the Lakers became a beast. Andrew Wiggins is now, I think, the highest overall rated player in this league. And also for Coach of the Year, Brian Shaw, who is really struggling in Denver in real life. He took one that 2016 year, 2018, 2019, Spoelstra on the Spurs, and then he won it again last season in 2021. So it's a lot to digest. I crammed it into 15-minute videos, a pain in the butt to edit. I think I went through 10 hours of footage because it's a process to simulate. It took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. But as you can see, Embiid won the finals in 2016. That's when we won it by user. Then simulation, John Wall pulled off 3 straight finals MVP awards before Embiid took it home this past season. So it's really been a dynamic duo and then a very stellar supporting cast. So now I'm going to simulate, look where everyone's gone. Ty Lawson went to the Sixers. Yeah, Dwight Howard going to the Celtics, but he's 35 years old and nearing the end of his career. Westbrook went to the Grizzlies, which is why the Thunder haven't really been able to win anything after that first one they did on my second association year. As you can see, Wiggins is a beast. For some reason, Curry and Irving are in the same team on the Utah Jazz. Ben Simmons is a Brooklyn Net now. LeBron James, after 4 seasons in Cleveland, 1 season in OKC, is now playing with Paul George for 2 seasons in Indiana. As you can see, Anthony Davis has pulled home a ridiculous number of awards. And then Terrence Ross has improved his scoring in New Orleans, but outside of that really hasn't done much. And then you have Kevin Durant, again being a beast, but he's pretty much the only one left at 33 years of age. It's kind of like the Carmelo Anthony situation, except that he has Serge Ibaka still there. But other than that, there's really no one else to help him, and which is why he's been kind of on the fringe of the playoffs. Zach LaVine has become the best player for Golden State, but actually hasn't won that many awards. And Gallinari actually made an all-star team last season or the year before with the Golden State Warriors, so he's been doing pretty well. And then so finally, here are the players who retired throughout this association, players that we all loved, enjoyed watching, and it's sad to see them go, but eventually, in the future, they're going to have to hang it up. And now here are the final roster for the Denver Nuggets. A lot of the core guys again are intact. Guys like John Wall, Joel Embiid, Kenneth Faried, Harrison Barnes, Justice Winslow, Evan Warren, and Francis Barrett. Then there were guys like Gallinari, Lawson, Anderson, and Ross, who were here earlier and helped us get started and start to build this dynasty, but eventually were either traded or decided to take their talents elsewhere. And again, this association's been a tremendous ride. I'm proud to have said that I built a dynasty, even if it's an NBA 2K. Hopefully, you guys stayed throughout the video, and I will hopefully see you guys soon in either another NBA 2K video or another basketball related video. So again, thanks for watching.